Welcome to On the Chain.
Charles Gasparino, massive breakup with the XRP community. What is going on? What's going on with this?
Well, let's
guy was
dig
all
into
super
this.
pro crypto. It seems like always, shouting out XRP and the Ripple case. What's going on?
So I know probably people are anxious, like, hey, what do we think about it? So let's break down. Let's give our input of what we think about what's going on here with Charles Gasparino. He said, I've seen zero criminal conduct on behalf of Bill Hinman. Zero. Does that automatically mean that the SEC did the right thing suing Ripple? Of course not. But let's deal with facts. And this tweet was deleted, Jeff. But this is kind of the tweet that kind of like ignited the community. Here was one right here. So Digital Ninja.
Charles Gasparino deleted that tweet that he put up?
No. The tweet that Gasparino was commenting on was deleted.
Oh, so we don't know what he was. Yeah.
Well, it was bringing up the fact about Bill Hinman, but here's another one where Digital Ninja took that copy of that email from Shira Minton, which had advised Bill Hinman when he was at the SEC, saying, happy to see, however, the analysis is the same for Simpson as it's always been. You have a bar. This is Simpson Thatcher. Simpson Thatcher is the law firm. It says you have a bar under the criminal financial conflict with Simpson Thatcher because you have ongoing financial interest in the firm. Meeting with them while having such a conflict is not permitted. And so Charles Gasparino just says, well, on its face value, he was advised it wasn't permitted, right? So he makes a comment that he doesn't see any criminal conduct on behalf of the Bill Hinman. And if you look no further than that, you would say, like, Jeff, he's kind of right. There is no criminal conduct on behalf of Bill Hinman because he was advised. I think this Shira Minton was I forget what the official title is, but this is the person that talks about the legalities and whether or not something's permitted, and was told, no, this is not permitted. You're under bar of the criminal financial conflict with Simpson Thatcher, right? This is a true statement. Are you with me so far, Jeff, or do you disagree?
Yeah, no. Yeah, keep going.
Okay, so now here we go. Now, Mr. Huber, who's phenomenal. Hey, Charles Gasparino, Eleanor Terra, and CNBC. Look, I understand you can't report on everything, but here's the watertight evidence of corruption and criminal behavior, the highest levels of the SEC. So he also references that same letter, but he goes deeper here. So let's kind of like blow this up and let's go a little deeper. So there's the one we just looked at. Here's the other one. So what is that? How's it going? Crazy busy. So what he's doing, he's reaching out to Josh Bonnie over there. Thanks for reaching out. Sounds good. So they go ahead and meet anyway. Now, this is what Charles Gasparino is unaware of. He doesn't know that they actually met. He was just warned, don't meet with them. Okay, there was nothing criminal there. Sounds good, blah, blah, blah. Let's go here. Any more thoughts about this? I don't think I go on a limb by saying we're all honored to have you and Jay on April 2nd. Let's book it. Thank you for getting back to me. This is, to Will Hinman. So you see that buying you lunch. Thanks, Josh. Buying my lunch. Watch you eat the lunch while you bought yourself. So he's almost mocking it. Like, I'm going to buy my own lunch. So he brings it down to, as long as I buy my lunch, because the SEC recently, we had an official resign, chief counsel, because FTX wined and dined him, took him out to a fancy restaurant, paid for the meal. And what he's saying here is, you buy your own lunch, I'll buy my own lunch.
Yeah.
And he's sort of mocking in a way, isn't he, Jeff?
But what's crazy about it is that these are the types of things they almost have to do, because they said, hey, let's go to lunch. Now it sounds like, hey, I'm going to invite you to lunch and I'm going to buy you lunch, which is kind of like a payoff of sorts. They go after ridiculous things. So I think in this situation, hey, that's great. Buying you lunch. What does it say? To watch you eat a lunch that you bought
at the
for
same
yourself
table.
At the same table. So they're almost saying, hey, you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing. We just happen to be at the same table and we'll talk to each other while we're there. It's crazy that, they have to clarify stuff like that.
But here's the thing. Was warned to not even engage with this person, whether you buy your own lunch, they buy your lunch, doesn't matter. The analysis is the same for Simpson Thatcher as it's always been. You have a bar under the criminal financial conflict with Simpson because you have an ongoing financial interest with them.
Yep.
So it's a conflict of interest. But here you have Bill Hinman mocking it. He and Josh going back and forth. Who's that Simpson Thatcher saying, well, we're going to buy our own lunch. Okay. You're not
Yep.
even permitted to meet because of the
Yeah.
optics of that.
Exactly. Yeah. So that it was kind of silly, the semantics of that conversation. And then when you put it in context with this part of it, it's like, okay, you weren't even supposed to meet. Now you're mocking the idea that one is buying lunch for the other. And you're like, no, we're not even doing that. We're both just happen to be at the same place at the same time, sitting at the same table. I think the problem with it too is, when we go back to the Hinman, emails, and he's saying that Hinman didn't do anything wrong. I still think there's a question mark, even though we have all the meetings and all the stuff, the ethics and the legal violation that they're talking about, that he was warned about it. There's still an unknown variable. And the unknown variable is why.
Right.
Why did they start this lawsuit 2 years ago at the time they started it? Why? There's still there's a question mark. There's this unknown. What was involved with that decision? Why not wait? Why do it on your last day before leaving? Why would you put out such a massive, game-changing lawsuit, industry-changing lawsuit at the moment that you're leaving? What was the landmine that you were trying to leave? To me, will go back and, we can dig through all of his history on what he's connected to, not connected to, whatever. There was something politically motivated, with that lawsuit.
Go there. Let's weigh in and see what John Deaton and Jeremy Hogan thought about this. Let's see where they come from. So digital asset investors said, hey, John Deaton, I know you're fond of Charles Gasparino and Eleanor Terrett, but I assume you disagree with Charlie about Hinman, Bill Hinman.
As he said, as I am, but I assume you disagree.
I assume, yeah, but as I am. Thank you, Jeff, for that correction. I assume you disagree with Charlie about Bill Hinman. John Deaton said, I've talked to others who, like Charlie, may not view the Hinman conflicts as being any worse than the shit they're seen in the past, but I disagree. I had a detailed thread over 6 months ago. I disagree, but I'm still fond. Again, I think, Jeff, you and I are in the same camp. We don't agree with it, but who cares? And then if you look even further, Jeremy Hogan nails it, crushes it here. He says, let me see. An experienced SEC lawyer says a crime was committed, and Johnny Deaton also. But Mr. Gasparino says there was none. Yeah, I'm going to have to go with over 50 years worth of lawyers on that one.
Yeah, exactly. These two guys are very succinct. I like that comment from Jeremy Hogan and also from Deaton. Again, hey, he made a mistake. But the thing is, the way I look at it, the other part of this with a reporter is that, can you make such a drastic mistake on something like that? If you're the one investigating it, maybe he didn't investigate all the way. He investigated 80% of the way. He didn't investigate the whole, he needed to go another 10%, another 15%. And he kind of left that part out. It's, this is a tough one, Chip, because the guy, he's a professional reporter. How is it that all of these,
but he's
novice,
not on his Twitter
amateur,
feed.
No, I know, not on his Twitter feed. He's not. So he can have his opinion. He can throw it out there, but he has been researching this subject matter, but, maybe just not far enough, opinion's opinion. And so I think that, we have to say, was he malicious in that tweet, or did he just not know any better? And so we correct him and we show him the evidence. He's a reporter and he's been on the side of crypto. So if we share with him the evidence of it, he should take that evidence and come back and make a statement. That's how I see it. He should say, hey, you know what? I retract my tweet. Maybe I was wrong. Look at this information. I'm going to look into it further. Or maybe I spoke too soon. Let me look into the evidence. And then, what's going to happen from there? He's going to write an article about it. He's going to say, put a report out about it. He's going to do something a little bit further. But now if he doubles down on his statement, says, I reviewed the evidence and I'm going to double down, and in conflict to what, as Jeremy Hogan was saying, some of these attorneys have found and their opinion on it, and I think they're wrong and I'm right, that's a whole different story, right? Now he's doubled down on his incorrect statement, regardless of the fact that's been presented to him.
Jeff,
But he hasn't done that yet.
Do you know the first rule of holes?
Yeah.
First rule of holes is this: when you're in one, stop digging. But no, Charlie goes even further and continues to dig. So he commented on this. Jeremy Hogan tweet, the one we just read, said, an experienced SEC lawyer says a crime was committed, which means this guy goes to jail. Someone check Jeremy's law license and make sure it's not from Trump University.
This, you know what? This has just earned him an unfollow.
I don't care. I still follow the guy.
No,
I mean, it's just stupid.
going.
It's just, look.
This is getting stupid now.
Yeah, and it's pathetic. But then you have Crypto Eddie just said, and she weighed in here too, and she says this has become so weird.
It is become.
I think that is amazing. She was right. It's become so bizarre and weird. I was so glad that I just saw this because it just popped up on my phone. But look at this, an experience. So someone like so here's the thing. He doesn't know. Do you think that Charles Gasparino, and again, I'll bring it back to this. Do you think Charles Gasparino understands and knows that Jeremy Hogan and all the videos he put out and breaking down this case doesn't know who Jeremy Hogan is? You don't say something really, okay? He just doesn't know who he is. Now, he's had John Deaton on the show, Jeff. He doesn't know that John Deaton put a thread out about it 6 months ago, but who cares? Did you see John Deaton saying, yeah, but you don't understand. You have to do, and I put a thread. No, he just made, hey, listen, yeah, I'm super fond of him. And I put out a thread 6 months ago, and here's what I detailed. Did you see any interaction on that? No, and it doesn't matter. And I was like, so he doesn't know who Jeremy Hogan is. Jeremy Hogan's like one of the most qualified people to talk about on this subject, aside from John Deaton. Aside
The
from
fact that he's going to attack him like that, though, this is he should know better. I mean,
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.